Hi there! If you're new to my channel, I'm glad you found me. My name is Tina Zink and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Nova Scotia, Canada. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to share a tutorial for a interactive card. I'm just calling it a spinner card because that's what it is. So about a week ago, I received a beautiful card in the mail from a beautiful friend. My friend's name is Geraldine. She lives in Alberta. She's also a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and an amazing artist. And when I opened the card and I saw Geraldine's card, my jaw dropped. I thought it was so beautiful. And then I realized not only was it beautiful, but it was interactive. So let me show you the card that Geraldine sent me. So you can see the little houses move. So this is how it looked like when I got it out of the envelope. I didn't even realize until maybe the next day that it actually moved. And so it was pretty exciting to me. So I messaged Geraldine and I said, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the card. I love it. And I appreciated her thoughtfulness. I really adore you, Geraldine. Anyways, I asked Geraldine where she learned to make this card. So she pointed me into the direction of the tutorial created by Jana's Paper Crafts, which is another YouTube channel. Jana is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Germany, and oh my goodness, Jana's projects are beautiful. She inspires me so much. So I'm excited to make one of these cards, and I'm going to film the process. Okay, so my card base is cherry cobbler, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just gonna fold that. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm gonna set that aside. I've got my cup of tea. It is snowing outside. It is very much winter. So I am in the mood for making a lovely card, and I am using the From Our House to Yours stamp set. Right now, this is on sale. It's discounted on the Stampin' Up! Website. So if you live in Canada and if you don't already have a demonstrator and would like to get this stamp set or any other Stampin' Up! Products, be sure to contact me. Be happy to help you, or just click down below in the comments and all my links will be there. So let's get started. I'm going to start by stamping some of these houses, and I'm going to stamp them on scrap cardstock. Okay, this is one of those stamp as I go cards. In other words, I'm winging it, as most of you know I like to do. I like to just put my camera on as I'm stamping and hope for the best, but it also keeps it real. So if I make mistakes, I'll show you how I fix them or cover them up, and I think a lot of you can relate to that, and that we don't need to have perfection. It's just a matter of enjoying the entire creative process, right? So I'm bringing in my mat, because this is a good soft foam to have underneath when you are stamping with your photopolymer stamp sets. You're going to get a nice crisp image. So if my card base is cherry cobbler, I should stamp a couple of houses with cherry cobbler. Ink that up. Now I'm using this one. So I've just stamped this one here, and now I'm stamping this image. And I'm also going to stamp that in cherry cobbler. And I'm going to stamp using my soft suede. Now on Geraldine's card, she used the mossy metal, but I'm going to use soft suede just to try something a little bit different. Stamp it down. Stamp this one down. Oh. Stamp that one a little high up. Let's see what happens if I stamp a little bit lower. Right on top. I'm going to keep it like that. Just gives it a bit more dimension. Now I'm going to stamp the smaller house also in soft suede. Bringing back in the cherry cobbler. Now for some doors, and each little door is a little bit different, makes it stinking cute. Okay, so now that these are stamped, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut them out, and I'll fast forward as I do that. Right, there are my little houses. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. You can do so many things with the images in this set, you guys. So I'm going to set that aside, bring in my cardstock, and I'm going to do some sponging. Okay, I have a Stampin' sponge, and I'm just dabbing it into my Balmy Blue ink, and starting in the center, I'm just going to ever so lightly go into a big circle. I don't want to cover the entire piece of Whisper White, but mostly in this area here. These are the circle dies that I'm using on this card, and these 3 dies are from our Stitched Shapes collection, die collection. So for the white circles, I'm going to use the largest and the middle size, and then this piece will be for the top circle. So I've already gone ahead and cut these out. Now the first thing I'm going to do is position that where I want it, and I've just got a pencil, and I'm going to very lightly trace around this circle. Oh, I got ink on my fingers. I think that'll be mostly covered for the most part. Gotta have clean fingers when you're stamping. I'm taking Mossy Meadow now and my tree image, and basically going to make the north and south. And I'm going to stamp one there, spin it around, and stamp another one here. And the east and west. Now I'm taking my early espresso. I'm taking this image. I'm going to stamp 2 trees in between all 4 points. And I'm using the pencil to guide the positioning of the stamps. Embossing now because we have some snowflakes to put on this card. So I'm just rubbing the entire piece with my embossing buddy. Now if you've never used an embossing buddy before, what it does is it removes the static on the cardstock so that you don't get embossing powder where you don't want it. Snowflakes. See if I can find a clean Versa mark. Yep, that's clean. You should see my other ones. In fact, I'll show you. Let me show you. That one's got embossing powder on it. Not good. Look, not good. And this one, it's got some of my brush hole powders. Not good. But I still use them depending on what the project is I'm making. So maybe I should invest and get a nice new clean Versa mark. But you know what? It works. But, you know, it's all about keeping it real. So let's add some snowflakes randomly, and I'm turning my stamp around so that they're not all going in the same direction. And I know you can't see where I'm stamping. Guess what? Neither can I, because it's a clear ink. So let's add some powder to that. So I have my Whisper White embossing powder. zap this with my heat tool. I'd gone ahead and glued these on the back of the circles and punched my center, and then realized the camera's not rolling. So it's very easy, but I thought I would show you how I did that. So all I did is I brought in my stamped piece. I stamped and cut out some more houses. So I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use on this one. And this just means I'm going to have a second card that I can make. So I'm going to put this upside down right on the center. Then I'm just taking my liquid glue and putting a little bit on the top. So I'm going to start with this one. Pushing it down. And then some more glue down here for the bottom house, which I'm going to use the tallest house for that one. So you only want to put 2 houses on one circle. Okay, so that's what I have. So I'm actually going to pull that up. The liquid glue is really great because you can reposition these as you need to. And it's also okay if some of the house is hidden behind those circles. And then I'm bringing in my second circle, putting that in the center. And we're going to do the 2 houses on the sides. I mean, you can eyeball this as well, you guys. You don't have to do it like I'm doing. You can literally just, you know, glue one here and glue one here and just make them straight. But this is how I'm doing it today. So once those are dry, what I did, now I'm going to go back to the ones that I did originally. So let's get these out of the way. I just wanted to show you how I glued those. So all I did is I positioned the 2 circles so that they were center, put them on that traced line, and then I took the take your pick tool and I just punched a hole right through all 3 layers. Now I'm taking a mini brad. Now Stampin' Up hasn't sold these mini brads for many moons, but we do have brads, and there's actually some brads on our clearance rack right now, so you might want to grab some of those. So I'm just putting it right through both circles and right through the stamped layer. Oh no, I want to erase that pencil first. Now we can put this on. Okay, so the brad goes right through to the back. Seal them off. So that is going to make our little circles move around. So fun. Bringing in another piece of cherry cobbler, going over with my embossing buddy again, and stamping from our house to yours. White powder, and set that with the heat tool. This is embossed. I'm going to cut it out with the smaller circle from the stitch shape dies and run that through my die cutting machine. Peel off the backing. And this is where you want to determine what direction you want your houses going in, so that when this is straight up and down, your houses are positioned where you want them. So I'm going to keep them where they are. Just tuck that right on the center. So this will move as you move this top layer, of course. My goodness, this is just such the most fun card ever. I'm loving it. Okay, more glue. Add some texture to this. So this is actually an idea that I also got from my friend Geraldine. I'm taking the Snowfall Puff paint and I'm going to add a little bit of snow. So you don't need to squeeze when you're using this. It's pretty liquidy and it just comes out really easy. And you also want to make sure it doesn't touch your circles. And then once I heat set this, I will move the houses around. Now, I meant to do this before I put the circles on the card, but you know what? That's all right. So now I have some fun snow texture. I'm gonna spin these guys around and add a bit more snow. Finish the card, I'm taking the wherever we wander, wherever we roam, and I am going to omit a whole bunch of those words and just pull out the ones that I want, which is at Christmas time. So to do this, I'm taking my early espresso marker, taking the bold end, and at Christmas time is this middle section right here. So I'm going to very carefully go over that with my marker. Give this a whirl. And I'm stamping it right down at the bottom. So it's stamped pretty good, except I did get some brown down here where I don't want it. So I'm going to cover that up. So I have cut a little tiny sliver of our gold foil paper, and I have cut it down to 4 inches. So I'm just adding a few drops of glue, and you don't need to add a lot, and I'm being careful not to get glue on the foil because it'll leave marks. And I'm literally going to put it right down below the sentiment. And you know, sometimes you do a mistake and then when you fix it you're like, oh, I like that better. I actually really like just that little bit of gold. I think just kind of finishes it off really nicely. So lastly, I want to add a little bit of green to this card. So I'm taking my leaf punch and some scrap old olive cardstock. I'm just going to punch out my leaf. And I'm going to pinch these up, and then I'm going to cut them apart. Okay. I'm going to turn these into little tiny holly. So I'm literally just cutting out a couple little notches. So that is serious improvising because I really wanted some holly on there. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of glue right on that red bit. And then I'm going to position my little holly into that glue. I'm not sure if we need a third one, to be honest. I don't think so. I think 2 is enough. And now I'm just adding a little linen thread bow. I'm going to take a rhinestone that I've colored with my cherry cobbler blend and put that right into the center. You know what's coming. Hope you guys haven't gotten tired of my champagne shimmer mist. And there is my finished spinner card. Oh my goodness. This is like the most fun little card ever. Just play with it all day long. So I'm going to put them back into position. spin it around. And you don't want to add too much snow on the side, because if it's too thick, those aren't going to spin around. I am really pleased with that. And of course, I'll add some paper on the inside and stamp and decorate it. I can't wait to give this away to one of my neighbors for Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it so that you're notified every time I upload a new video, which is every week. Have a great day, happy stamping, and Merry Christmas.